Hello, FGC. I'm FemShep. You might have seen me around. I bodied a stranger on a billboard in Times Square. I was a contestant on Justin Wong's Next Up reality show.
I think it's just so beautiful. The fact that she's like literally a prime example of like never giving up. Starting from the bottom, now we reached the top of the master rank, and now she's going to more events, locals. The fact that she was able to like finally win her first stream match was just so beautiful. I really want to put her on Next Up and just see what she can do on this show, because I just think she definitely deserves a shot. FemShep, congratulations.
And I went viral defeating Justin's impossible Zangief.
Congrats!
My modern Marissa started at the literal bottom, but now she's winning local tournaments.
Oh, and the median FemShep wins the tournament. FemShep wins the tournament over Solari GT. Congratulations. FemShep popping off.
Well deserved pop off.
Gone. Vanished. Let's go.
Guess her game. Guess. 50-50. Live. Guess her game. Let's go. She don't need drive.
She's even getting out of pools winner's side at EVO 2024.
Nice. Yeah!
Finally!
It's 2-1. Okay, 2-1 Yeah! Go get your Chipotle.
Being brand new to fighting games is obviously challenging, but a lot of people don't know about my additional hurdle, my disability. I have dyspraxia. No, not dyslexia, dyspraxia. Interestingly, so do a few other awesome people. If you're unfamiliar, dyspraxia is a type of learning disability or neurodivergence where my brain sends signals out of sync between the left and right sides. So what does that actually mean? For one thing, my fine motor skills are subpar. Detailed, precise hand motions are challenging, and this is worsened by the fact that dyspraxia typically affects one side of the body more. In my case, the left side. You can imagine how that feels when trying to use left and right hand in sync. For another thing, when I was diagnosed, my visual processing tested in as very low, 13th percentile low. Meaning that when it comes to reaction time and ability to absorb visual information, 87% of the population already has a one-up on me. Practical example. After months of occupational therapy, I caught my first dodgeball at 17 years old. Yes, 17. And the whole church youth group clapped like a Tumblr post, having witnessed my complete physical ineptitude every Sunday since the 6th grade. Between processing that the dodgeball was approaching my face, coordinating the catch motion, and ensuring that my right hand didn't get to the ball faster than my lagging left, dyspraxia made youth group games extremely hard. Which brings me back to fighting games. And oddly enough, a recent video by 801 Strider, one of my favorite Marissa players to watch. Strider argues, rightly, that saying you need the genetics for fighting games is disingenuous, when what you actually need is dedicated practice. That is, unless you have a disability. Then you might actually have a relevant genetic limit. Here's the clip.
It is work ethic. It's work ethic, bro. My work ethic, it's you doing what's necessary to improve on the areas that you suck at. Half of it is actual genetics. No, it's fucking not, bro. What are you saying? No, it is not. Unless, okay, it is if you actually have a disability. If you're actually like learning, like you have a learning disability or some shit, you know, you're neurodivergent, something. Then yeah, sure. Or if you play Geef. If you're a Geef player, I mean, not this season. This season you guys are cooking, but you know, if like legit you have a disability, then sure. But if you don't have a disability, it's not, bro.
Now, I'm not blaming Strider here for not going more in depth. His excellent video that you should totally watch was about the difficult process of learning to play neutral, not about learning fighting games with a disability. So I decided to make my own video about learning fighting games with a disability. How do you approach your first fighting game when it isn't simply a matter of practice until your hands can do the thing? What if your hands just can't do the thing? What if you're at a literal, medical, undeniable disadvantage from the character select screen on? Recently, I've committed to seriously learning my first secondary character, Ken, which got me thinking about my learning process thus far with Dyspraxia. I spontaneously opened up about it on one of my Twitch streams recently while I was labbing my fetus Ken, so this is that Twitch stream. Oh my god. Why, I was just doing this. I don't know why the timing of the button after the double tap is so hard to me. Some of it is definitely the dyspraxia, because beyond the general fine motor coordination difficulties, it's a touch worse on my left side. And a lot of the coordination issues come with coordinating my left and right side together.
What are you waiting for?
So when it comes to the motion input being left hand and the button being right hand, it's just harder for me to do. It's not impossible. Again, there was a time when I couldn't do any combos with motion inputs, and now, I mean... And that's a manual quarter circle back. I can actually kind of do it with both if I want to. That was all manual. So, like, there are contexts in which I'm landing the motion inputs, and I didn't used to be able to do it at all. So I never want to say, I will never be able to do this. But it's a matter of realistic expectations. Like, I got into this game because of Modern. I was able to learn some motion inputs eventually, but if you had just said everything's a motion input, it's fucking miserable for my brain to try to learn motion inputs. So I just wouldn't have picked up the game. So with picking up Ken, if I were to just sit in the lab now and be like, I'm not allowed to play Ken until every time I want to do a manual DP, I get one, I'd be bored to tears, and I'd probably drop the game. So it's one of those things where I want to have at the forefront the things I can do, and the things I can almost do, and then the things that are still really, really inconsistent, I'm just going to keep labbing those in the background. So I'm probably, for instance, in this combo, I'm going to continue using the special input for the second motion input, even though I know I can do both motion inputs, because I don't want to overwhelm myself, and I'm thinking about a lot of new stuff with Ken. So one thing at a time. But I can do it, as evidence there. I do want to make sure I'm getting the heavy DP if I cut the auto combo short, like here, because it's a lot more damage. Because that's 2540 versus 2034. So that's like a 500 damage difference. In this, I think it's more scaled because of the lights. Yep. Okay, so 1810 with all manual versus 1654. So that's less than a 200 damage difference versus a 500 damage difference. So, priorities. Since I'm on hitbox, my DP options are either forward, down, forward button, like this, or hold down, double tap forward, which is what I'm doing. it really fucks with my coordination more to do forward, down, forward, especially because, I'm gonna switch characters real quick. Before, the reason I needed this input is because Marissa's go-to corner safe jump requires ending in heavy DP. Oh my god. There we go. Just wanted to make sure you're doing the hold down method. Thank you. I'm mostly having trouble timing the button after the double tap, because if I do it too late, then I don't get the special move, and if I do it too early, I just end up getting a normal. I think the window is wider than I think it is, because late seems to be the move. But, like, with this, you need to be getting this input off of this in a juggle. So, for my hands, that was, okay, you've got to double tap forward, you've got to hold back, then you've got to go back to forward, then down, then forward again, and then a button. There was no way. Now I'm so rehearsed in this juggle and in this motion that after this hits, I'm releasing the button and just start holding down while it's still coming out, and I'm able to get that input on this side. So for instance, like that. On the other side though, I cannot for the life of me, even with the shortcut, just because my ring finger is an asshole. Like, you know, like, if you have a part of your body that falls asleep because you've been sitting weird or whatever, and it feels like it's not part of your body until it stops being asleep, or like, if you're walking around your house with a big object, like maybe something you brought home from the store, and you're not familiar with where that object starts and ends, and you keep bumping into things, that's kind of what the left side of my body feels like. And particularly that finger. Like, it genuinely feels a little bit like a phantom limb. Coordinating anything with it is just wonky. So getting a rapid double tap forward here, even when it's the only thing I'm doing, is just really hard. I can get it sometimes, but just getting it to react with any degree of speed or accuracy is a real pain, especially when I'm thinking about other things. Like, now it's the only thing I'm thinking about, so it's coming out. But even then, not all the time. Keep getting the quarter circle forward there. And then I start dropping the basic part of the combo because I'm thinking so hard about the DP input. Ugh. What's ending up happening there is that I'm holding down and forward at the same time instead of getting the double tap because my hand is just like lagging behind. So then you get the quarter circle forward. The quarter circle forward I can do on both sides because it doesn't require, I don't know, it's just easier. Like now I can do the quarter circle forward here. So then I can route into level 3 mid-screen. And I can do that on both sides. Even then, occasionally I screw it up. But that DP on the other side is just brutal. You're describing an execution barrier that everyone has. I really need to get a better display, because I always get the end of messages cut off. Everyone has to go through. Now I see it. It's one of those things that, like, I know it's an execution barrier that everyone has to some extent, but I do try to explain on stream sometimes that it is a little bit different for me. Because, like, it makes me really happy when I hear people say, like, oh, I had a hard time learning the game, and seeing you be able to slowly be able to do more stuff has encouraged me with it. Because that's great, but there is definitely a degree of frustration when people are just like, oh, it was hard for me to do DP inputs, and I just practiced it for a week, and now I can DP. I'm like, you do not understand how many physical things are just harder for me to do. Like, I promise you, you didn't need occupational therapy as a high schooler to be able to react to a dodgeball coming towards your face by catching it with both hands in sync. I promise you. I promise you that's something you were just able to do. So it's one of those things where, like, I don't want to count myself out, because if I just said, oh, I can't do motion inputs, I wouldn't be doing all these combos with quarter circle back and quarter circle forward on Marissa that have made my Marissa that much stronger. And if I just said, oh, I can't do drive rushing combos, which is what I was telling people when I first hit plat, is I can't do drive rushing combos. The input is too hard. I wouldn't have gotten out of plat 1, 100%. So, like, I don't want to count myself out on things, but it really is one thing at a time. So as much as a lot of people are like, oh, right now you should just be drilling DPs, right now I'm just trying to get comfortable with the range of this. And with reacting with this. And taking advantage of Ken's walk speed, that if I'm not quite in the range for medium DP, I can walk forward, I can walk back, I got a lot of time. And there's enough time where he just floats here that I have time to hold down and double tap forward and end in the heavy DP instead of the easy DP. Even on the hard side, there's so much time. So I need to get my spacing right, because all of Ken's best tools, this, they're all good at the tip of the range. As soon as you get closer than that, super vulnerable. And if you're just a touch too far away, super vulnerable. So I know my ranges are not going to be on point, my hit confirms are not going to be on point, my general ability to play neutral is not going to be on point until after I hit master. I am not trying to play like Tokido right now. I would just like to hit master with a simple, like, layer 1, layer 2 Ken game plan and get used to reacting to people in a real match and keep labbing my hit confirms in the background and keep labbing my DPs in the background. Which reminds me, I wanted to test. I want to be able to do this into the heavy DP, and I cannot for the life of me get a motion input that requires holding down amidst a string that requires standing up. So I was wondering, my theory is if I hold forward during this, then can I get the down forward instead of the double tap forward and get the DP? Nah. Okay, hold up. And I can start holding forward after the first jabs connect. So the sequence of events is basically first jab connects, continue hitting jabs, start holding forward. Second jab comes out. As third jab starts to come out, hit down, resume holding forward, hit heavy mid-animation. So you get... Okay, I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. That's exciting. I don't think we're going to be doing that in real matches anytime soon, but that's progress. This is why I will maintain, don't assume you will never be able to do something. Experiment, find your own way to do it. If you really still can't do it, like for instance, Marissa, it took me a year to be able to do a heavy DP input in that juggle. I still can't do it on the other side of the screen. So my combos end up looking like... medium, which is plus 44, not plus 42, so it's not a safe jump. But thanks to Zach Henke and Straight Up Beaches in the Marissa Discord, at least I think Beaches helped. I know it was probably initially Zach. I know that off that plus 44 knockdown, you do that frame kill, you're plus 13. What does plus 13 get you? It gets you this.
Where are you going?
It gets you this. It gets you this. So I can't do, or on one side I can't at all. On this side I can sometimes, but on one side I can't at all. For a long time I could have on either side at all do. I could only do. But thanks to friends in the Discord that are willing to experiment, that are constantly finding new Oki and new setups, I've got people scared of my Walmart version that's not a safe jump now. Because if he's mashing on wake up, Oops.
Where are you going?
Gets hit.
Sweet dreams.
You gotta do the frame kill fast. So, can't do the safe jump. Can do almost 60%. And it's still a true strike throw between this, and this. But bottom line being, if you can't do something, find ways to play without it. Keep trying to do it. There's a chance that eventually you'll be able to do it. For the longest time, I couldn't do this quarter circle back. So all my quarter circle back combos on Marissa were auto combo. It neutered the damage significantly. But I found ways around it, and I played with this. And I kept trying to learn the quarter circle back. Eventually I learned the quarter circle back. Right. But I could not for the life of me link this to the following one to the motion input, which you particularly want to be able to do on punish counter with Marissa, because you want to be able to do this. And that was a triple execution barrier for me. Because first I couldn't do the motion input. Then I couldn't do the charged into uncharged into motion input. And then with this, if you start your combo too late, they flip out of it, and you don't get the full combo. Now it's hard for me to mess it up because I finally learned it. There. I was getting that every time. And I was afraid to go for it because I dropped it every time. So you've got 3 layers of I can't do this. And now, every single time I land this, that was a triple execution barrier. And I just worked my way up one thing at a time. And before I could do that, I just did this. It's not as much damage, but it's fine. It's a place to start. You just gotta find a place to start. That's all fighting games are. You're not gonna learn everything. You're not. Find a place to start. And for some people like me, Modern needs to be that place to start. It might even be a place where you stay. For me, Modern is a place where I stay for the foreseeable future, because motion inputs are still really overwhelming when everything's a motion input, even when I can do most of the inputs. And I went from, I can't do any motion inputs, to now you put me on the other side of the screen with Ryu here, and I can do a double motion input combo with that timing I couldn't do until level 3. Yep. Now, of course, I'm going to drop it because I'm thinking about it. Oh my god. I'm defeating my own point. Alright. Oh my god. Oh my god.
One eternity later.
There it is. And I'm landing that in bracket a lot of the time now. For that mid-screen level 3 route that does almost 60%. So bottom line is, find somewhere to start. Find ways around the things you can't do. Keep practicing them. Chances are you will be able to learn some of them and steadily integrate them into your game. My Ken is very simple right now. My Ken can't really hit confirm. His spacing's wrong a lot of the time. I'm not playing conservatively enough with my meter. And I don't have the optimal combos all the time. I'm really getting mileage off of just the simple cash out with... And until I can do the fancy shit, this is fine. This is gonna get me to master.
Bet that hurt. Ready.
I know I'm not the only disabled gamer around. I'm not the first, I won't be the last, and I'm certainly not the best. But I hope anyone, neurodivergent or disabled, who watches this and wants to learn fighting games, takes heart and knows they can forge their own path. And for any neurotypical, abled people watching this, the lesson still applies. Start with what you can do. Practice what you can't. Keep pushing just a little bit further, one day at a time. And even if you start at rookie 2, I know you can make it out of pool.